Bonjour. Today's lesson is about impératif, which means basically a command. So the imperative, something that someone's telling you to do. Okay, impératif. Before we get to commands, though, let's do a quick review about how to use reflexive verbs in a negative sentence, because so far we've really only seen them in affirmative sentences. So how do we use that ne and pas? So it's just pretty simple, really. So we have our ne here and pas here. So you see that the reflexive pronoun, the me, te, se, nous, vous, ce, sticks with the verb that's conjugated. So, je ne me coupe pas les cheveux. Okay, same here. Ne and pas surround both the reflexive pronoun here and your conjugated verb. Vous ne vous couchez pas. Vous ne vous couchez pas. Now we've seen how to give commands before. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, so we're going to do a little review here. So in order to give a command, not with reflexive verbs, just with any other verb, we're using ER verbs here as an example. So you have tu marches, you walk, okay? In the command, we do two things. The first thing that we do is we drop the subject. So we get rid of tu. And in the tu form, it has a special rule. You get rid of the S at the end. So it turns into from tu marches to marche. So you're telling someone, walk, marche. Okay? In the vous form, it's essentially the same thing. We just drop that subject pronoun, and vous marchez changes to marcher, walk. Okay? The last imperative form that we have is the nous form. So again, we're going to drop the subject pronoun from nous marchons, and we get marchons, marchons, let's walk. Okay, it's like giving a command to a whole group, but it includes you. So you're really kind of making a suggestion. Nous marchons, marchons. So that is giving commands with regular ER verbs. Giving commands with reflexive verbs is a little bit different because we can't get rid of the reflexive pronoun, the te, vous, or nous, okay, right here. We can't get rid of it. It still has to stay as part of the verb. So, if we want to tell a single person, get up, trying to get your little brother or sister out of bed, get up, okay, and you want to give it as a command, you're not going to say, you get up. Okay, it's not really much of a command. You want to be a little bit more direct and forceful. So you want to say, get up. So in order to do that, we're going to do two things. We're going to drop the subject pronoun as always. So we're going to get rid of that tu. Okay? Now, like with the other ER verbs, we're going to drop the S at the end of the verb. Okay? Now, what changes here is that the reflexive verb, or excuse me, the reflexive pronoun moves to after the verb, okay? So we end up with lève-toi. So te changes to toi, and it gets moved to the end. Lève-toi, get up, okay? Similarly, in the vous form, we drop our subject pronoun, okay? And the vous, which is a reflexive pronoun here, gets moved to the end of the verb. Levez-vous, levez-vous. So when we're in class and I tell you stand up, I say levez-vous. Okay. And again, in the nous form, it's the same thing. We're going to drop the subject pronoun. We're left with our conjugated verb and our reflexive pronoun. That reflexive pronoun gets moved to the end, and we're left with levons-nous. Let's get up. Levons-nous. So that is giving commands with reflexive verbs, okay? And it looks a little bit differently if you're going to give a command in the negative with reflexive verbs, because it doesn't change a whole lot, okay? So it's actually pretty straightforward from a negative sentence, like what's written in blue, to a negative command written in pink. So let's take a look. So first we have tu ne te coupes pas. Don't cut your, you do not cut yourself. Tu ne te coupes pas. Okay? So, In the tu form, we drop the subject pronoun, okay? With ER verbs, we also have to drop the S in the verb, okay? And we leave it like that. We don't move anything else around. We just leave it as ne te coupe pas. Don't cut yourself. Ne te coupe pas. Okay? Same thing in the vous form. We have vous ne vous coupez pas. You don't cut yourselves. Vous ne vous coupez pas. You're in the kitchen or what have you. Okay? Drop the vous. Okay? And we're left with our reflexive negative command. Ne vous coupez pas. Don't cut yourself in the kitchen. Vous ne vous coupez pas. Okay? In the new form, same thing. You're going to drop the subject pronoun, and you're left with the command of the reflexive verb in the negative. Ne nous coupons pas. That is all I have for you. I'm going to wish you bonne chance, and I will see you next time.